Hey guys, this is Mel. So for my standard learning outcome, number 5, which is informatics and quality improvement, I'm going to be focusing on quality measures as it relates to clinical practice. So something really recent just happened at my practicum, which I'll talk about in a little bit. But as we all know, quality improvement is a big part of nursing practice in terms of, like, if there's an incident in your practice, I'll ask you, like, what could you have done better? If there's some type of infection control outbreak or something is mishandled, there's people that go back, audit this and review it, and talk about how we can avoid this happening again. So at the infectious disease clinic, they recently had a patient come in that had HIV, and when we have HIV patients, they like to run through what's called the Social Drivers of Health survey. I don't know if any of you have seen it yet. Probably at your clinical if you have one at UVA. But they ask a lot of personal questions related to mental health, financial resources, and things related to that could be negatively impacting your health. And so one of the patients, they asked a depression screening question, which is a part of the Social Drivers of Health, in which the patient said that they are extremely suicidal, but they don't have very good control over it. Like, they feel like at any moment they could start having extremely suicidal tendencies, and they were describing themselves as unpredictable in their emotions when it comes to suicide, and also expressed that they had planned to commit suicide before. And the reason I brought this up is because this happened when I wasn't at clinical, but it happened at my clinic. I think someone that was working didn't complete the protocol correctly. I believe they left that person in the room alone because they didn't know what to do. And that ended up not being the correct protocol. Someone was supposed to stay with them and then call for help on the Vocera. So of course this had to be reported to the manager. And then the manager had to have a meeting where they went ahead and had to re-educate everyone on how to respond to situations like that. And so what this is called at UVA is B-Safe, which is a quality improvement measure that the university uses, where people will go and report incidents of quality failure or a safety concern, and then the manager has the responsibility of calling a meeting attention to this and explaining what was done wrong and how this could be corrected. And so I chose to talk about this because I felt it was extremely relevant to the topic at hand. Additionally, I don't want to shame the person that was working at the clinic that left the room during that time, because I understand they were probably in a panic and didn't know what to do. But I'd like to raise a concern that that person could have used things within the clinic to harm themselves if they were left alone, or they might have had something on their own person, like a knife or something like that, and would have started cutting. And that's why it was really important that she stayed with them and to make sure that that person is monitored while they are having these like suicidal feelings and tendencies. And while I recognize that this person made a mistake, I think it's great that the manager was able to call a B-Safe and at least talk about it in a non-shaming way to explain to people and educate to them what the proper protocols are, because a lot of times people are scared and that causes them to make incorrect decisions. It's the same reason we have like fire drills. It's so if there's an actual fire, we do have a real plan, because if there were an actual fire, we'd never done a fire drill. Everything would be horrible. And my preceptor, she's not really new to the clinic, which is infectious disease, but she isn't that experienced with mental health, because previously she had worked in like progressive step downs and cardiac bedsides, so she hasn't had explicit mental health concerns. But that's a huge issue with a lot of our patient population, especially those that were recently diagnosed with HIV. So I think for her, this is also a good learning experience. And aside from just re-educating people on standard protocol in terms of what to do with suicidal patients, they moved past just talking about what to actually do if someone expresses feeling suicidal, but also raised more concerns with the social workers and the case managers about how we can connect people to better resources, especially if we don't have the psychiatrist on staff and other types of clinics that they can reach out to for help. Obviously, with these past few months, there's been a lot of like cuts to funding and things that are like public health related or related to social justice causes and equity. But our clinic is still working to do the best that they can with the resources that they have, even though they've lost a lot of funding. So I think it was actually really important that we have this meeting, even though it came out of a bad event, that we could at least brainstorm and recoup and think about what we could be doing better to better service our patients. And that's ultimately what quality improvement is all about. So I hope I explained that well and all my thoughts and reflections on quality improvement, and thank you so much.